Hey, it's Phyllis and Carly. Carly, you gonna push the thing so that people know you're online? There we go.
It came up just now. Whoops. There we go.
All right. So it's Phyllis and Carly.
Hello.
She's more than just a pretty face. She talks. So we're 16 days out from the 2019 Komen walk. We've got a mile marker we're going to remember. Carly, you're up. The yawning was not part of the deal.
I'm very sorry. We have sponsoring the mile Elise in honor of Vincent. Do I say in honor of?
In honor, I prefer honor than memory.
Okay. In honor of Vincent. And we have Ange in honor of Marcia.
She doesn't know how to pronounce names. Either that or she can't read my printed handwriting.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it that you're always looking tired as soon as you get on camera?
Because it's late.
Carly, it's like...
It's late.
I can't...
It's 9:19. I know, but it's late.
Oh, Tatala.
You try dealing with kids all day. I realized what I said after I said it. I love you.
She's a camp counselor for 3 days this week, and then she has cheer camp for another 3 days. And her response is, you deal with a dozen. That's all it is. Not even a dozen kids.
8 kids.
8. I said less than a dozen.
8.
One of which is her brother. So she already knows how to boot him into the corner if needed.
Yeah, half the time I can't, though, because then my older sister's setting comes out, not my camp counselor. Treat him as an equal setting.
And then she has the audacity to look at me and say...
I realized what I said after I said it. Am I tired? Okay, good.
What? Yes.
Okay.
So, being a camp counselor is tough. What in the world are you doing? She is playing with...
I'm listening. You can
phone.
play. Not play. You can... You can talk.
Oh my God, is this changing the background of what we're doing?
I don't know. We'll find out when I pick one.
Anything with a pink ribbon?
That's what I'm looking for.
So we also found, while she's playing at the bottom of the screen, which is why she's looking down the way she is, we found out cheering areas today. Public cheering areas, as opposed to...
I'm playing with the screen.
If you wanted to do private cheering areas. And she's playing with the screen. So, day 1, which is Friday, September 6th.
Too loud.
What's too loud?
Your voice in my ear.
Oh, okay, this is coming from the girl who has no inside voice whatsoever.
I do too.
Ask her father what her inside voice is. Ooh, we got pink ribbons.
You are welcome.
Thank you. Except it looks like that one's hanging off your nose. There we go. That's wrong. That's wrong.
I'm kidding. Here we go.
So, day 1 is Friday.
I'm trying to
I know. Friday, September 6th. And we have opening ceremonies start at 6:45 a.m. At the Revere Hotel in Boston. So if you happen to work in Boston and get into town a little early and you want to help cheer us on, give yourself a little happy time before you actually have to get to work. Opening ceremonies do begin. The Revere Hotel in Boston is on the Back Bay side of downtown.
We have a viewer.
Ooh, who's our viewer?
I don't know.
Okay, well, hello, viewer. They're viewing anonymously, so we'll, if you want, wave and say hi. But the Revere Hotel, how do I describe it? If you work in Boston, you'll understand. The State House is here, the parks are over here. The hotel is just a block away over here in that halfway point between the public garden and the park. Then somewhere between 8:40 and 10 a.m., they expect people to reach mile marker 5. And mile marker 5 is going to be at Riverbend Park at 1001 Memorial Drive in Cambridge. I don't want to go to Cambridge. I don't mind walking to Cambridge. I don't want to drive to Cambridge. But if you work in Cambridge and you're looking to take a coffee break, come on out and cheer.
Coffee.
I talk funny. Leave me be.
Talk. Sorry.
You've lived with me for how long?
Still funny every time.
My accent bumps.
Would you like me to talk in my British voice?
Please don't. I don't want to insult people who are British out there. Hello, Sean.
Oh, I didn't know who Sean was.
And then from 9:30 to 12:30, we are still in Cambridge. So if you happen to be, again, working in Cambridge or have time and a desire to come into Cambridge, we will be passing mile 8.6 between 9:30 and 12:30. They give like a 3-hour window roughly usually because, what they do is they understand that some people are going to whip through it, and they understand that some people are going to take their time, and there are some people who, believe it or not, walk even slower than I do. If people don't get to a particular point by a particular time, they will get on what's called a sweep van, and they'll sweep them to the next area that is a safe place for them to start because they don't want to leave anybody behind, but they still give people a reasonable amount of time to get to certain areas. So again, between 9:30 and 12:30 on Friday the 6th, we're sometime during that time going to be in mile marker 9.6, excuse me. And Carly, I want to be on camera, not looking at whatever that is.
You're on camera.
And that's going to be at North Point Park, Education Circle, Cambridge. And then finally, our last cheer area, they expect to be between 11:45 and 11:15 and 3:45 at mile marker 16.1. See how it kind of one ended at 12:30, but another one picked up at 11:15, which is before 12:30 because again, they have that whole time block period. And that last cheer station is going to be at City Point. At this point, we're in South Boston at 1904 William J. Day Boulevard in South Boston.
2 people are watching.
Hi, whoever you are.
Oh,
No, you lost one. You hit too many buttons. Then day 2, which is Saturday, which is probably one of the 2 easier days.
Carly joins in and gets to go to Boston and stalk her mother.
Hopefully. We're still looking for somebody from the team who can stalk or walk her with her. And Carly has to readjust herself. So day 2, which is Saturday, September 7th, from 7:45 to 9:15, we'll be on that particular day's mile marker 3.4 at 1371 Beacon Street in Brookline. I hope I can find someplace to get a really good bagel along the way. And now we got Carly watching on the, it's weird. We've got, I wish you could see this. I'm talking in my phone and she's watching in her phone. There's no problem there. And so now she can see herself on time delay. I love my daughter. So again, we'll be in Brookline at that daily marker 3.4 at the time in Brookline. Then from 10 o'clock to 1:45, we'll be at that day's marker 12.2, and we'll be at Farlow Park at 129 Church Street in Newton. And then from 11 to 4, which will be that daily marker 16.9, we'll be at the BU Marsh Chapel, 735 Commonwealth Avenue in Boston. And don't worry if you're not writing all of this down, I will post it. And then on day 3, which is Sunday, September 8th, you can cheer us on between 8:15 and 10:30 at that day's mile marker 5.7 at the Olmsted Park, 365 Pond Avenue in Brookline. I really hope I pass a nice kosher place along this way that's open. Would be nice to get something, kind of fun along the way. And then between 10:15 and 2:15 will be that day's mile marker 13. And it's going to be Beach Street at JFK Surface Road in Boston. So those are the cheer stations. Oh, and closing ceremonies is also going to be on Sunday the 8th. It's going to begin at 3 o'clock. Let me see, I wrote all this down. Except for that part, which is like kind of the most important part, isn't it, Phyllis? It's supposed to begin at 3 o'clock. And yeah, here it is. I just can't read my own handwriting. Actually, the festival, it says, begins at noon. They're expecting the walkers to come in between 3:30 and 4:30. And it's going to be the Lawn on D, which is also in Boston on D Street.
What festival?
What festival? You want to know what festival? It's closing ceremonies. Daddy's already said he's going to take you and Yaki in after Hebrew school.
Okay.
You'll be able to come watch me either walk in or crawl in or limp in.
Walk, because I have faith in you.
Thank you. Thank you. It's always good when your kid has faith in you. You want to sit up a little bit better though, please? There's no cuddling on television.
We are on no TV.
Well, we're on
notification.
Yes. Something came in on my Instagram. Now, it still looks like the Komen pink ribbon, Carly, is coming out of your nose.
Well, there, you hold the phone then, because there's no real good way to hold it.
Well, that's kind of better.
Thanks. It's pointing at my double chin now.
Oh, well, if we move it over the other side, it could point on my double chin.
Oh, wait, no, it's lining my chin.
It's lining your chin. So, again, we're 16 days out, almost 15 days at this point, because we'll both be going to bed and, turning it in. I will be posting all of this information regarding where you can find us and cheer along the way. Believe it or not, the adrenaline you get from people standing there and cheering is so much. That's why I'm always listening in with one earbud. I was taught one earbud while I'm always listening to my music with one earbud because just as like you're ready to give up.
Oh, my friend's watching. That's why you can't see because...
Oh, it's your friend. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Well, then we need to make sure you're on camera better.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and Julie hearted it and liked it. Okay.
Okay. And so, the adrenaline you get. She's repositioning my arm. My arm only moves so many directions, Carly. The adrenaline you get. I mean, come on. Those of us who are children of the 80s, can you really sit through Walk This Way? Seriously. And there are a couple of other 80s songs that you can't. There's, where you hear it and you're like, I can't sit through this. I have to walk. It gives you the energy. So, again, we are starting to raise funds for the 2020 walk. If I can't raise my $2,300, then Carly can't walk. So the best way to do it is if you can please help us raise the $2,300 I need. Then we'll turn off my fundraising and all of this will go through Carly's. And we'll raise her $2,300. The walk is in less than a year, so it'll come around sooner than you think. So until then, have a great night. And we'll talk to you more tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye.